While he hasn't really given any indication about where his future lies, it is clear that Kylian Mbappe is likely to leave Paris Saint-Germain by the end of the current campaign. There are loads of reasons why the France international is going to leave Parc des Princes, and we're going to discuss those in just a bit. Anthony Martial left Manchester United on loan in January as a man who had a lot to prove. Things have gone very well for the Frenchman so far, and we need to discuss the forward's renaissance at Spain. Frenkie de Jong has been hotly linked with a move away from Barcelona in the summer, but it appears that the Netherlands international has other plans in mind, which include staying put at Camp Nou for a number of years. Nobody knows what Erling Haaland wants, but it appears that both Barcelona and Real Madrid are going to fight it out for the Norwegian cyborg. Lille are in serious trouble and not playing like a team that won the Ligue 1 title last season. Les Dogs were tasteless and uninspired against Metz and barely came out of their latest league outing with something to show for their efforts. Before we get started, we want to share the sponsor of today's video. The OneFootball app is the ultimate football platform and is a must-have for every football fan, so that you can follow all of your favourite leagues, teams and players all the time right from your phone. You can be sure to turn on notifications for specific players to be instantly alerted when they score a goal or when they're involved in other breaking news. It is the best and easiest way to stay up to date with everything football. Click the link in the description down below to download the app right now. You won't regret it. Lille and FC Metz put on a sad show on Saturday. In addition to a very poor goalless spectacle, Frédéric Antonetti, the Metz coach, and Sylvain Armand, the Lille sports coordinator, came to blows, which was much more entertaining than the entire 90 minutes of the game. The show was not a pretty sight. At the end of a tasteless and uninspired performance, the Mastiffs had to settle for one meagre point, which does not help their business. While there were 9 games left to play this weekend, the result meant that Lille was stuck in 9th place. Above all, there is cause for concern ahead of their perilous journey to England, where they will take on Chelsea in the last 16 of the Champions League. Manager Jocelyn Gourvenec says that results in the league should not be confused with the ones the team can produce in Europe. However, judging by how Lille have been playing in recent weeks, we do fear for them, especially given the fact that they will play against a very strong Chelsea side who absolutely hate dropping points at Stamford Bridge. The game in itself was a poor show of sportsmanship spirit, with players trying to win penalties and going for reckless challenges. But that's nothing compared to the events that followed after the final whistle. At the end of the game, Olivier Letang and Sylvain Armand were confronted by Frédéric Antonetti because they were occupying his side of the technical area. Words gave way to blows between the Metz coach and the Lille sporting director. The two men actually had to be separated. Following the scuffle, Antonetti justified his actions. Do you think that the president of Lille and the sporting coordinator should be 2 meters away from me in my area to put pressure on the 4th official? I'm 60 years old. I don't want anyone to be disrespecting me. I know how it goes, I'm a good sport, but in the end I am right. If they hadn't come up, would there have been the incident? When I'm assaulted, I respond to it. I took a red card, but I won't let myself get pushed around on the pitch. Real Madrid and FC Barcelona both want to attract Erling Haaland, whose priority is to continue his career in Spain. The two sworn enemies are even in a 2-man final. Who will achieve his ends? Between Real Madrid and Barca, it's a long history of rivalry. Of course, on the pitch with at least 2 Clásico per season, which each time offer us spectacles, drama, and stories that will be remembered for a long time, but this battle also exists behind the scenes. This is still the case for the endless Erling Haaland case. There is little doubt that the Norwegian will land in La Liga next season. For this, it will be necessary to lift the famous departure clause of 75 million euros set by Borussia Dortmund. Real Madrid should have no trouble doing so, while at Barca, the arrangement to finance this operation promises to be much more complicated, because in addition to the transfer, Mino Raiola, the player's agent, and Alf Inge Haaland, the father, will share a commission of 50 million euros. That's a lot of money, but for such a striker who's only 21 years old, both clubs are ready for anything. According to Sport, they know they're in some kind of final, as PSG are focused on extending Kylian Mbappe's deal, and Premier League clubs have been told that the Norwegian's preference is a move to Spain. We learned this week that Real Madrid had reached an agreement in principle with the striker's representatives during a meeting in Monaco. The current league leaders would also try to lower the wage bill to 60 million euros by offering to send Luka Jovic to Borussia Dortmund, whose adventure was never really launched in Madrid. This could well be decisive for the future, but Barca are not going to throw their weapons so easily. After a very long time, Frenkie de Jong has broken his silence. While he has been considered as the club's midfield general for years to come, the young midfielder's future has been questioned by those in Spain. Issues such as not being able to dominate games for the most part have contributed to these questions. Barcelona paid €86 million to Ajax for his signature in 2019, so every misstep will lead to such questions. During the winter transfer window, the Dutchman was linked with the move away from Camp Nou. His market value is pretty good, and Barcelona might still use that to their advantage, especially if they are serious about signing Haaland for next season. However, Xavi has deemed the 24-year-old untransferable and is the first name in the starting lineup. While speaking to The Guardian, the former Ajax man says that it is his dream to play at Barcelona, before admitting that he would have loved to have won more trophies in his first 2 years at the club. The youngster says that he has no intention of leaving Catalonia and sees himself at the club for several years. On loan from Manchester United to Sevilla FC until the end of the 2021-22 season, Anthony Martial is flourishing in Andalusia. Under the impetus of their sporting director Monchi, they have the firm intention of relaunching the Frenchman's career. For the 2 weeks he has been there, what I see is happiness. It is difficult for Monchi to not ignore the situation of Anthony Martial when he was at Man United, losing momentum at Old Trafford in recent months. Between injuries and the choices made by the managers, the 26-year-old striker already seems to have regained his splendour in Andalusia, and this is taken only after a few appearances in the jersey of Sevilla, where he's on loan until the end of the season, and he is now at a club that has everything from the ideal place to relaunch the career of the French international. Bringing Martial to Spain was a bet made by the club, keeping in view the complicated months Martial lived at Old Trafford. "I don't think there is another director of football as daring as me," said Monchi, whose team are chasing Real Madrid for a league title. Martial decided to lower his salary in order to join Sevilla, and in only 3 appearances has already shown that he is a quality player and someone who just needs to be appreciated more. This is definitely a barb towards United, where the managers have never really bothered about the players' mental well-being. You've heard it here a lot, and no matter what the other media platforms say, we can say it with a lot of confidence that Kylian Mbappe is going to leave PSG for Real Madrid. There are loads of reasons why this move will happen. Of course, things might appear different if PSG end up eliminating Madrid in the second round of the Champions League last 16, but anything can happen. Even if they do and then manage to go all the way, it might take a long time before the French giants return to the European summit. Mbappe can't wait that long and would want to win a lot of trophies before he retires. It is true that he has time on his side, but when has any young player waited around for things to happen? And then there's the small case of winning the Ballon d'Or. Traditionally, most of the players who've won this award have done so during their time at Real Madrid or Barcelona. Mbappe will have a better chance of winning the award at Madrid. And how can we forget about the players' intentions? Players who want to sign new terms usually don't beat around the bush. Mbappe holds all the cards at the moment, but the very fact that he hasn't done anything about it, or that we haven't heard about him pushing for a lucrative deal, means that it isn't all about money for him. Yes, he can stay at PSG if he wants to, but if he really did, he would have already signed an extension. For Mbappe, joining Real Madrid is a matter of prestige and a chance of ending his career with a lot of trophies and personal accolades. All of these reasons point to the inevitability of the World Cup winner signing for Madrid this summer.